We begin this morning with the extreme weather that is marching across the country. Later this morning, Tropical Storm Alberto is expected to make landfall in Mexico, but the system is already battering the Texas Gulf Coast. It is the first named storm of the hurricane season. This is the scene in Brazoria County where Alberto brought up to 10 inches of rain. But the major concern for Texas officials this morning is storm surge. In Treasure Island, much of the town already underwater ahead of Alberto's landfall, but emergency service crews, not much can be done for them until the water starts receding.
Trying to get your ambulance into a lot of these neighborhoods, how difficult is it?
It's very difficult. It's impossible. We wouldn't be able to drive into Treasure Island, which is right behind you. There's very few houses we can get to on our own.
As Texas braces for more flooding, New Mexico is assessing the damage caused by one of the most devastating wildfires in state history. At least 2 people are dead, hundreds of structures destroyed. Congressional leaders from that state have called on President Biden to issue a major disaster declaration. And on the East Coast, it is hot, hot, hot. The dangerous heat wave continues to push temperatures well into the 90s, even the triple digits. Relief could be on the way, though, bringing an end to this record-breaking stretch. We have our team standing by, including meteorologist Michelle Grossman, with more on the extreme heat. But first, Corpus Christi Fire Department Chief Brandon Wade joins me now. Brandon Wade, for more on Tropical Storm Alberto. Thanks for joining us, Chief. So first of all, walk us through what you are seeing and hearing on the ground right now.
Well, good morning, Joe. So right now, the city of Corpus Christi is doing very well. We were assessing conditions and had crews out all day yesterday. I think the city just, again, we saw some storm surge that hit a little bit of a low-lying area, but the city fared very well.
What is your biggest concern now as Alberto makes landfall?
Right now, what we're looking at is the sun's going to rise, is assessing the road conditions, seeing if there's any damage from where the tidal surge came in through the Corpus Christi Bay. We were very fortunate that we had very limited incidents. We had a few traffic accidents from the water pooling on the road. But I think all in all, through the messaging that the city put out, warning residents about the wind and preparing for the water, I think the citizens, took heed of that advice. And we were very fortunate we didn't have extremely high tides or a storm surge coming in.
The timing of those tides so important. So we just heard from folks in Treasure Island. They say they're having trouble getting to people who need help. How big of a worry is that for you in Corpus Christi today? And what should people do if they do need assistance today as the storm's rolling through? Absolutely. Well, talking with the National Weather Service, Corpus Christi looks to be kind of on the downhill side of, I think, this the event. So yesterday is where we kind of had our highest concerns if we were going to be able to make it to different areas if we had some storm surge, but we really didn't experience that. So we had maybe 2 or 3 walkouts where some cars were in a little bit of higher water, but we were able to access that. And then again, now as we look at it as daybreak comes up, we're just going to go out and start assessing those road conditions. We closed roads off early, too, and then warned the residents. And again, I think a lot of that from the visitors here in town to the residents, that they took heed of that advice. And as always, if somebody has that emergency, we push them to call 911 early so we can get the response out there and take care of them. And then for non-emergent events, but they're seeing things as water rising on certain roads, they can call 311. And put that to the officials, and then we can go out and take a look and assess the situation. Let's look at the big picture here. Hurricane season just started nearly 3 weeks ago. It goes till the end of November. We're already seeing a tropical storm hit the coast. So is Corpus Christi prepared if 2024 is the active storm system that is being predicted? Absolutely. As a coastal town, this city has strong plans in place with the city departments, in which we prepare for hurricanes that could possibly come here. So we have many planning meetings, but also there's a greater relationship that's built with the state of Texas. And as we work with our regional partners, as we work with our state agencies, this goes on. Planning is year round for us here. And that's everything from assessing plans to assessing the resources we have and then coordinating with our partners here locally
And that's what's going to really build a safe plan and make sure we always have the strong messaging to the citizens what they should do.
All right, Chief Brandon Wade, we are thinking of you and your community in the coming hours. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Joe, thank you very much.
Let's turn now to that record-breaking heat wave that is scorching the East Coast and Midwest from Michigan to Maine. And for the West Coast, it's officially wildfire season as fires there continue to rage on. NBC News correspondent Aaron McLaughlin is here in New York with the very latest.
Hey there, we're seeing dangerous conditions nationwide. Out west, those wildfires have turned deadly, killing at least 2 in New Mexico, scorching 23,000 acres, destroying 1,400 structures, prompting a state of emergency and the evacuation of thousands of residents in Ruidoso, which is about 150 miles southeast of Albuquerque. Meanwhile, here in the northeast, that heat dome continues its dangerous grip with more than 60 million Americans living under heat alerts. Yesterday, it never has felt hotter in Bangor, Maine, and officials all over the Northeast are taking every precaution, opening up cooling centers in malls and churches. Officials really urging folks to stay inside, to stay safe, and to stay hydrated. Here in New York City, I was speaking to a fire official, and they said that they're already seeing the number of emergency calls go up. He says he expects for that uptick to continue because when there's a heat wave, they really start to see the calls on day 3, day 4 of the heat wave, and they're bracing for even more. Back to you.
All right, Aaron McLaughlin, thank you. From the heat to the tropical storm, a lot to talk about. So let's get a check on your morning News Now forecast. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is here. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Yeah, another really busy day. And we're going to keep it busy over the next several days into early next week in terms of the heat, because this heat is not going anywhere. We have that heat dome tacked in place, and we have 65 million Americans in the Northeast from the Great Lakes to the Ohio Valley, also New England, under heat advisories. That is in the orange. Heat watch is in that darker reddish pink color for Philadelphia. Heat warnings for Fort Wayne, Pittsburgh, also Bangor. Aaron had mentioned this. The heat index yesterday so high. We're going to see it high once again today into the triple digits in Bangor. But here are the air temperatures in that black color, and then the box next to it is what it feels like on our body. So as we go throughout the day, it's going to be another day of intense heat. Again, it's that cumulative effect like Aaron had mentioned. We're not getting a lot of relief at night, so that makes it as harder on the body as we go throughout the days and days and days of this. So 92 today in Burlington. It will feel like close to 100 degrees. It's going to feel like 103 in Bangor, feeling like 94 in Boston. So it actually feels a little cooler than the actual air temperature. We'll feel like 94 in New York City. Same story as we head towards Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Elkins into the 90s. Then on Friday, we're going to keep this in place. We're looking at temperatures, again, close to 100 degrees in St. Louis, Nashville, 96, 95 in Roanoke. So many 90s on the map, so ahead of schedule in terms of those temperatures. We're 10, even 20 degrees above normal. New York City tomorrow feeling like 95. So you need to stay hydrated over the next several days and find those cooling centers if you haven't already. Then as we go into early next week, we're not really getting any relief. Look at St. Louis, Saturday, 99, 97 on Sunday, 96 on Monday. Same story as we head further to the east. Philadelphia near 100 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, and then a little relief, if it sounds like relief, at 91 degrees as we head towards Monday. Air quality will be a problem, too, especially for the elderly, children compromised with asthma, lung, and respiratory diseases. 47 million people where you see that orange shading, especially we're going to have some tough air quality there as well. Let's move it to the tropics. We are about to see landfall of our first named storm, Tropical Storm Alberto. It is 40 miles east of Tampico, Mexico. Winds are at 50 miles per hour, and it's moving west at 13 miles per hour. So we will see that landfall shortly. And then once it makes landfall, it's going to interact with some mountainous terrain in Mexico, and it's going to dissipate very, very quickly. That's good news for southern Texas. But in the meantime, the rain is falling. We're looking at 3 million people impacted by flood alerts from Laredo to Corpus Christi, Port Mansfield, also Brownsville. We're concerned about flash flooding as well. Not expecting a whole lot more rain, especially once this makes landfall. We're going to kind of see it winding down, which is good news in terms of the wind and also the rain in southern Texas. Western Texas, you'll get a little bit hit harder as we go throughout this Thursday. You see those yellow colorings, the yellow shading in orange. That's indicating where we could see heavier downpours. And we are still seeing some downpours now. The concern will be with that coastal flooding. And then again, I know we talked about this earlier with our guest, but with some of those high tides through Friday. Flash flood risk is getting a little bit smaller, too. That's good news. We have a marginal risk where we're looking at Corpus Christi and also Brownsville. So something to watch as we head throughout the morning hours. And then a whole nother story. We have a front that's going to bring the chance for severe storms, some really heavy downpours with 3 inches per hour. Some of these storms, that includes Minneapolis to Sioux Falls. Also, where you see that darker blue, the slight risk, we're looking at some heavy rain as well. So there's the map for today. It's another busy one. So that summer sizzler does continue, and looking at the severe storms in the northern tier of the nation.
Busy is a key word.
Yeah.
A little something everywhere. All right,
I know. I feel like that's going to be the summer.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
Tensions between the U.S. and Israel are growing. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu openly criticized the Biden administration for allegedly withholding weapons and ammunition. It's a charge that's being publicly disputed by the White House. NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell has that story.
A new and very public breach in a pivotal partnership over the flow of U.S. weapons to Israel, after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu leveled a stinging accusation, posting a video, notably spoken in English, for an American audience.
It's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally.
Israel says it must defeat Hamas and secure the release of hostages.
During World War II, Churchill told the United States, give us the tools, we'll do the job. And I say, give us the tools and we'll finish the job a lot faster.
But his charge has been met with surprise at the White House.
We generally do not know what he's talking about.
The fallout was swift. A meeting expected tomorrow with Israeli officials in Washington is off for now. That session, to discuss threats from Iran, is described as postponed. U.S. officials say they will not reward Israel with such a meeting in response to the Netanyahu video. In May, the Biden administration publicly acknowledged it paused delivery to Israel of a shipment with 2,000-pound bombs. Responding to Netanyahu's message, Secretary Blinken disputed the prime minister's complaint and said that one arms shipment is being evaluated.
Because of our concerns about their use in a densely populated area like Rafah, that remains under review. But everything else is moving as it normally would move.
Tensions have been evident over a period of months between the president and prime minister. President Biden says he has been direct with Netanyahu about avoiding civilian casualties and negotiating toward a ceasefire agreement. But U.S. officials also say that Hamas's top leader is the big holdout preventing a deal.
All right, Kelly O'Donnell, thank you. On Capitol Hill, the House Ethics Committee is continuing its investigation into Representative Matt Gaetz. The bipartisan panel says it's reviewing several allegations against the Florida Republican, including that he engaged in sexual misconduct, illegal drug use, and obstructed investigations of his conduct. But the committee also says it will take no further action on some other allegations. Gaetz, a strong ally of former President Trump, denies all accusations of wrongdoing. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale joins us now. So, Ali, walk us through what exactly the Ethics Committee is looking into right now and which allegations it's no longer investigating.
It's an important distinction, Joe, because these investigations into Congressman Gaetz have been going on over the course of the last year or so. The ones that they've since closed over on the Ethics Committee side include the following, and I'll put them up on the screen so that you can see the distinction here. They've cleared Gaetz at this point of the allegation that he shared lewd images or videos on the House floor. They've also said that he did not misuse campaign funds, and they're no longer looking into bribery charges, but there are still those allegations on the table that they are interested in and that they are still investigating, as you mentioned, including sexual misconduct allegations and charges of illegal drug use. Those are things that you're right to point out the congressman denies, but nevertheless, the Ethics Committee is still looking into them.
Yeah, how is Gaetz responding to all of these developments?
In typical fashion, he is not just denying them, but doing so with a flourish. He's saying that this is all because the former Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, is angry at Gaetz for the role that Gaetz played in kicking McCarthy out of the speakership and thusly out of his job last year. This is something McCarthy has not been secret about. The bad blood between Gaetz and the former speaker is well known on Capitol Hill. McCarthy and Gaetz both speak openly about how much they dislike each other. But at the same time, Gaetz is saying it goes further than dislike. he thinks that McCarthy basically put the ethics committee up to it. Of course, that's not our understanding of the situation, but it's part of his denial of the allegations and the things that the ethics committee is looking into right now.
Okay, so now we have this update on where things stand. Let's talk about what happens next. How long does this whole process take? What might happen to Gaetz?
This is a really dark process, specifically because it's shrouded in mystery. The ethics committee doesn't typically give any updates as to what they're investigating until they've either A, decided to open an investigation, or B, closed an investigation. It's why we have this sense right now of where they are in their inquiries into Matt Gaetz. But we don't expect many updates in the interim period. They'll finish this when they finish this, and they'll give their report. But until then, it's really just a waiting game.
All right, Ali Vitale with this update. Thank you so much. Wall Street has a new top dog. Nvidia overtook Microsoft on Tuesday to become the world's most valuable public company by market capitalization. That is the total value of all the outstanding shares of stock. The chipmaker passed the lofty $3 trillion mark in early June, becoming only the third member of an elite club that includes Microsoft and Apple. One of the most remarkable things about the company, it has tripled in value in the last year. More, we're joined by friend of the show, Investopedia's editor-in-chief, Caleb Silver. Caleb, good morning. So we all know Apple, we all know Microsoft, but Nvidia is far less of a household name. So for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about this company. What do they make and who do they make it for?
Yeah, unless you're a big-time gamer or you're making your own cryptocurrency, mining your own cryptocurrency, or running a data center, you probably never touched an Nvidia product, but they do make chips, high processing chips, GPUs we call them, for gaming originally, and now they're making them for AI. Guess who its biggest customers in the world are? Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet. The biggest companies of the world are buying these smart chips from Nvidia. They've been doing that aggressively over the past few years. It's become the most valuable company, $3.3 trillion. You say it tripled in the past year. Well, since 2021, it's up 627%. Joe, not to give you FOMO, since 2019, up 3,444%.
I'm going to walk you through some even more numbers here. It had a remarkable 170% surge in its share price this year, a more than ninefold increase since the end of 2022. So what is behind this massive spike?
Yeah, Nvidia is not just a company that got here a few minutes ago. The company's been around for about 30 years. Its CEO, a very personable, popular guy named Jensen Huang, created the first GPUs for gaming back in 1990, 93, 1999. The first GPUs came out. Then they started doing parallel processing in the early 2000s. They've been at the forefront of every big technological development, making the chips, making the processors, the things you don't see or touch, but are inside our machines, making them work better. And now they're making chips for AI servers, for big AI server farms, for big hardcore processing, and they've been there for crypto, they've been there for gaming, they got there for AI, they've been at the front of every revolution, and that's why the share price is so high right now, and so many people want to own it. And guess what? If you feel like, oh, I missed buying that stock, I should have bought it 5 years ago, you probably own it because it's in one of the top holdings in the biggest mutual funds in the world.
Good point that a lot of people forget about there, Coach. So your numbers, guys, so we'll throw out some more numbers here. In the span of just 1 year, the tech giant's market valuation, it's gone from $1 trillion to more than $3 trillion. By comparison, it took Apple and Microsoft nearly 5 years to make that same leap. So what can we learn from this meteoric rise, and just how much higher could it go?
Yeah, I mean, infinitely higher, of course, because you can go as high as people want to bid the stock up. But it's important to know there are story stocks that come along every now and then. Tesla was one of them. Amazon was one of them. Nvidia is definitely one of them. They change the course of technology. They change the way we work. They change the way we operate. And people pile into those shares. It is the darling stock of the moment. And for good reason. It did $60 billion, I should say, in revenue last year, but $30 billion in profit. So it's immensely profitable. And what do shareholders, what do investors want? They want companies that are growing their profits big time over the long term. And Nvidia has done that really for the past several years. No reason to think it can't keep growing its profits because its customers are the biggest companies in the world and they all want its products.
So a lot of people love this company, yet outside of Wall Street and the tech sector, not a lot of people are familiar with it. Is there a possibility that this could be a bubble? Yeah,
it could always be a bubble. And there are people that have been piling aggressively into the stock because it just keeps rising up and to the right. So that happens sometimes, and it lets out some steam. But it's important to know this stock split a couple of weeks ago, and that the share price was about 10 times higher. It split. There are a lot more shares out there. It's a lot cheaper, so a lot more investors feel like they can afford it right now, even though you could buy it at any price, at any dollar amount. It split, so it's now more available, and it's in a lot more indexes. So would imagine it would probably go higher.
All right, Caleb Silver with a little NVIDIA 101 for us this morning. Caleb, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.